Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges. Joining me today, we've got a very special guest. She is an NCAA All-American for the University of Texas, and we've got big news regarding her extra year of eligibility. Today, we are sitting down with Evie Pfeifer.
Hello.
Are coming back for your fifth year of eligibility as a Texas Longhorn. That's super exciting, I'm sure, for the program, for you, for swim fans, because I think at least for me, I've talked to a lot of seniors who are like, I'm done. I had a good 4 years. I had a good run. Totally understandable. But you might actually be the first person I've talked to who's like, 100%, I am doing this again. So can you explain this decision to me, especially with your events? It's some of the easiest events to be like, yeah, I want to do this again.
Yeah. So, obviously, like last year when NC's was canceled, everyone was devastated. But I think as, kind of the summer went on and just the uncertainty of everything moving forward, I don't know, I couldn't really get over it. I was like, I'm not ready to be done. Like, I want 4 NC2As. I don't want to go out on this year. And I had made that decision, in the summer. I was like, if there's a way to make this happen, I want this to be able to happen. And then, part of that was, I wanted 4 NC2As, but I also won't be finished with school this year. I need a 9th semester to finish my engineering degree. So I'll have a little bit of school carrying over next year anyway. But then as the summer went on and we were starting the college season in the fall, we were still kind of waiting on to see if the NCAA would even grant eligibility for another year for winter sports. So we were waiting for that to come through. And then it was also a matter of would Texas be involved in carrying on scholarship, things like that. But it ended up, I found out in October-ish maybe that, things would work out that way. And yeah, so since then, I've been committed. I'm ready. I want to do it again. College swimming is so fun. The mile, 4 a.m., 500, they're long ones. But I have great training groups at Texas. I don't know. I love racing. I love dual meets. Put me in 1,000 in a dual meet, I'll still race it. It's fine, But yeah, I've wanted to come back since the start of all of this.
So that's really cool to hear, and really, I'm sure it makes the decision a lot easier to know, for you to have known that for such a long time now. So a couple questions I want to ask. The first of which, if you're comfortable sharing, if not, just say pass. Did your scholarship carry over? Because I think that's a gray, a question mark for a lot of people in this situation.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the way it worked out with Texas is that for my class specifically, our athletic director said that he would make a continuation of scholarships for my class, because the spring, he made that decision for the spring sports who didn't really get their season to start when Corona first started. So he made that decision for spring sports. And then as the fall and winter sport eligibility came in from the NC2A, our athletic director was like, we will continue this for the other seasons of sports as well. So because of my class, I kind of found the perfect timing wise to get that help through Texas still. And that doesn't count against our team's money specifically for other scholarships for other classes coming in. So that way everybody's happy still.
Yeah. That seems like a great situation, and congrats to you for getting the scholarship that you rightfully earned and getting that fourth NCAAs, that is really exciting.
Thanks. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. And so then speaking of NCAAs, you were coming off of a really good performance at the 2021 NCAAs. Can you talk about that performance and just, did you feel like it was going to be a good one heading in, especially having lost the 2020 NCAAs?
Yeah. So I think going into this NC2As, I was ready for it. I wanted to do what I know I could have done the year before. So like my junior year, I felt like I was kind of on a more of a comeback year. I didn't like my sophomore year NC2As as much. So junior year, I was coming back. I was like, this is it. I'm going to do what I need to do, which, didn't end up happening. But yeah, carrying that through this year, it was like, now is finally the opportunity. Like it's actually happening. Like, so I was ready to like do what I knew I could do. I think our whole team this year was very young. So it was very interesting getting to be one of the few people who had been to not just one NC2As already, but a couple before. Because the majority of our team, I think outside of me and two other girls, nobody else had been to an NC2As. So it was interesting taking on that more of like a leadership role of the team. But yeah, all our freshmen, sophomores, everybody did really great, considering it was their first NC2As, and that was most of our team. So
yeah, I mean, like you said, it was a really young team. You guys finished third overall, which seems like a really great accomplishment for the UT program. How did you feel about your performances, particularly second in the 500 with a PB, second in the mile with a PB, fifth in the 4 IM? Was that a PB also?
I think I had gone 404 at Big 12s. I think 405 at NCs. But yeah, it was close. Yeah, no, I was really happy with that. I really wanted Joanna's record in the 500. Her team record was, I think it was 435.07, and I maybe went like 435.05 or something. So I got it by a couple hundredths. I've been looking at that record like the past couple years, and Joanna's been a great training partner, but yeah, so she helped me get there for sure. But I really wanted her record. So obviously really happy with the second place. Paige Madden, Brooke 40. That's a fast heat. But I was really excited to actually, race a 500 instead of, I feel like most of the year I was just kind of swimming it in some open water, which is good too, but it comes a lot easier in a race. So that was fun. And then the mile I was happy with as well. I actually dropped time. Wasn't expecting that. The mile is just like, I dive in and I try to, shuffle through some music in my head, hang in there. Yeah, I could see some girls in my heat. So again, yeah, it was fun being in a race for that as well. I was not as happy with my 4 a.m. There's some room to make that better. But yeah, again, just like overall being able to be in some of those like big girl heats, those fast heats, again, after not having done that for so long, was sort of intimidating at first, but it was so much better. I forgot how fun it is to race and how much easier races are, like when you're thinking about racing rather than just, pushing yourself, pushing your own pace. So it's good. Yeah.
You bring up a good point, because not only, did we lose a big chunk of time to racing because of COVID, but also I think at Texas, you can kind of get on an island sometimes, right? Being in the Big 12, there's not a lot of that top level competition. I think Carol does a pretty good job at getting you guys good competition in dual meets throughout the year, but still, not having that big conference meet. I mean, as a distance swimmer, how do you feel like that does affect you? Because you said, a lot of the times I'm swimming the 500 in open water.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as far as meets go, going into like some of our conference meets, dual meets, like, et cetera, like I know, like I have to push it. And like, I know I just have to prepare for that more mentally. I think like I'm going to be very aware of my own pain while I'm swimming this. Like I'm not going to have the distraction of people around me to break that up. But like in the conference, you know, I had Kelly Pash all year in the 4 a.m. to race. Like that was great. I trained with Madisyn. She's ridiculous, you know. I've trained with Joanna when we've done like dual meets or like fake meets with a timing system. Like Madisyn will do a 4 a.m. with me. Joanna does the 500 still. So like I'll have people to race, you know, here and there. But definitely at conference, it's just like, you know, I'm aware of my own pain and it's fine. I just have to like prepare for that like a little bit more instead of preparing to race and like position myself in a field. But yeah.
So do you feel like that's something you have to prepare for, maybe even more so than racing a big field like at NCAA's, because you get that excitement of racing a big field and it's like, well, this kind of takes care of itself?
Yeah. I definitely noticed at NCs, you know, I would be behind the blocks kind of sort of feeling that same stress, like, okay, like I got to go out, I got to push it. I can't, you know, I have to go out fast enough. But it's, you know, you're in the big heat at NCs, you dive in and everybody else is right there. And you're just like, you know, racing and watching other people. And so I did feel like I remember getting out of the pool after some of the races at NCs being like, wow, like that hurt. Like it hurt less than I thought it would. You know, everybody says that, you know, it's, you know, you get out of the race and you're like, but I was like, wow, that was so nice. Like I didn't realize it until I did those races at the NCs that like, I've really been having to put that much more energy to get going for races throughout the year. But I'm like, yes, this is swimming. This is the part, you know, that I've missed. This is the part that is fun. So yeah.
Throughout this season, and obviously it's been, you know, a weird one with COVID, do you feel like you have put more of an emphasis on having, you know, feeling that pain during your races in the goal as a goal, or do you have time goals for your in-season swims?
I mean, for in season, like throughout the year, we did different like kind of fake meets with timing systems. Like, you know, men do Eddie Reese invite, they'll do like 300s, you know, stuff like that. So we kind of picked up on that a little bit this year since without the dual meets. And so those kind of races lend themselves to, you know, focus on going out for a fast, like do a fast 150, going out like it's, you know, your 500, or like that sort of like pacey feel. Like time's not as important, but it's more of like, you know, put yourself in the race. Like how do you feel swimming that that modified distance, but like with, you know, the visualizing actually doing the full event. So I think there was a lot more of that this year, and I think that did help. Normally I'm not somebody who knows pace times very well. Again, I like racing. So this year I feel like I sat down with Carol more. We really went through like some 4 a.m. splits. And I feel like I did a lot more 4 a.m. pace sets, like, you know, go this time, like do 100 fly, go this time, like do 50, like do the 250 backs, go these times. So doing that like helped drill in more of a pace, like without having always having a race next to me. Also, you know, the mile math is always fun. I really don't even know what my mile pace is. But, you know, sitting down and being like, okay, I went this time. I remember how that felt. I think I can recreate it. Kind of going from there. But yeah, I'm trying to get better with pace, like knowing the numbers, because I think that, you know, is something you should work to like depend on in swimming, but you know, working on it.
I mean, so it sounds like that as you mentioned, you're working on it. You're working on these numbers. It sounds like you've still got areas that you really want to improve on, which I'm guessing makes it a lot easier to keep continuing, to keep pursuing. Again, we mentioned these longer events. I mean, is that something that you've been pretty thoughtful of heading into this 5th season?
I mean, I think in the events I swim right now, like I definitely think I can go faster times. I don't feel like anything I swam this year was perfect, obviously. But I'm also really excited to be able to swim on this team that's coming in next year. Like with our whole incoming class, Erica Sullivan's coming in. We're about to be in the same distance lanes. I'm really excited to train with her. We didn't have a whole lot of change in my training groups this year, and like our distance free group and IM groups. There weren't a whole lot of changes with like the freshman class this year. But I think next year we're going to have some freshmen that are going to be in those like longer IM, longer freestyle groups. So I'm really excited to be able to train with those girls. And I think just I'm excited to see how our team evolves next year. I think, we're a team that has some more consistency. I think we're at that point where we can consistently be like one of the top teams. And so I'm really looking forward to being a part of that next year.
So this was leading up to this question, which I'm just curious about. You mentioned how fun you think college swimming is. It sounds like a blast, and it's awesome that you're taking that 5th year. Are you thinking about swimming after that?
I'm not sure. I kind of go back and forth on it. Getting this engineering degree has really kicked my butt. It's been a lot of hard work. So, on one hand, I'm like, I've worked so hard for this degree. Like, I think I should use it, but if I have it, I think I can, use it later on if I want to keep swimming for a few more years. But yeah, I mean, I think the ISL sounds like a really cool idea. Like, who doesn't want to do like a pro swimming draft and like be fancy for a, draft day? That's literally what dreams are made of. But so I think that would be like a really cool experience. I think I would have to revisit it at the end of next year, but definitely something I think I will consider next year. Yeah.
Very cool. That's exciting. I mean, I think we need more pro distance swimmers, and I don't blame most of them for not wanting to stick around, but I think we need more. So with this incoming class is also your sister, who's transferring from Arkansas. Tell me how excited you are to be training. Does she swim your events?
She does distance free, but she also does backstroke. But yeah, I am so excited to be able to swim with her. I've missed her so much, not being in Texas, like not being in the same space anymore. I was talking to her, I was like, Abby, they're gonna have to put like our first initials on our mesh bags to tell our mesh bags apart, I'm really excited to have like sisters on this team. You see the men's side, they all got brothers over there. I'm really excited to be able to have my sister. I'm really looking forward to training with her. She works her butt off. I think it's going to be a really fun year for sure.
And so again, Abby was a freshman at Arkansas this year. Mm-hmm. How much recruiting did you put in to be like, all right, it's time. You had your fun away from me. Now come on back.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think a big part of it was, our family has weekly family Zooms. So,
Same.
Right. Okay. Yeah. As you do. And I think this year our team at Texas was unlike any other team any other year that I've had. Like, we've had great teams every year, but this year was different. Like, this year all of us were on the same page. All of us like were buying into what we were trying to do as a team. And, like, it was fun. Like, there was such a good energy this whole year, despite everything. Like, despite the fact that we weren't, really allowed to hang out together. We weren't allowed to like sit down in dining hall and eat together. All of those things, like, despite all of that, I would still be on family Zoom every week, being like, this is so fun. Like, this team gets it. Like, these freshmen, like, they know what they're doing. Like, everybody is so excited. And I think part of, my sister thinking about transferring and coming here was like having heard me like talk about how great this team was. Like, I'm so happy to be a part of this team. Everybody is so supportive of each other. and everyone wants each other to do well, like genuinely. And I think that was something that really made her excited about maybe that's like a culture I want to be a part of. And so the recruiting was like maybe a little inadvertent, but it's gonna work out. And yeah.
I mean, great teams obviously start with great senior leadership, as I've heard. How many seniors are on? Well, how many seniors are on the team? I guess were on the team this year.
So we started this year with 4 seniors, including me. Mm-hmm. We don't have any senior divers, so it was just the swimmers. Yeah, it was an interesting year to be a leader. Between the COVID restrictions and trying to get people on the same page of that, and avoid any sort of like mass catastrophe of COVID. That was challenging as seniors, I think. But other than that, like the seniors who came back to swim this year were like excited to be here and excited to finish their year of swimming. And I think from seniors like all the way down, like everybody really enjoyed their time that they put into swimming this year. And I think that really did set the tone for the team this year. It was definitely one of the big factors. And yeah, so I am the only senior coming back, unfortunately. But yeah, we had a great run, and I'm really happy that I got to that the girls who stayed, like we stuck it out for this year, and yeah, it was a good year for them too.
So with this being your 5th year coming up, have you considered the role you might play on the team? As I'm guessing you will be obviously the most experienced person on the team, but is it? I don't know how Texas does captains or seniors as leaders, but it's like there'll be a whole class of seniors that's their 4th year, and mm-hmm. are you just going to supersede all of them and tell everyone what to do, or will you take a step back and be more of like a sage elder who just gives advice?
I definitely am not trying to like come in and be like, I know all of the things. My opinion is what matters. Definitely, that's not what I'm trying to do. I think it's good for everyone. As you rise through the ranks, like I want these rising seniors to, have a big voice and like have the chance to lead. Because I feel like I've grown as like a person trying to, make some decisions for this team and lead. So I want everybody to be able to experience that. I'm definitely not trying to be the ruler. But I think it's also going to be interesting because we have some post grads still training. Remedy, Joanna, Madisyn. Like it's going to be interesting because like Madisyn will be done swimming. Remedy will be done swimming. I think Joe might keep swimming. But so I will be one of the oldest people in the pool, which will be interesting considering I've swam with Madisyn every year that I've been on the Texas team, and she has been on the Texas team none of those years. So she's been here forever, which has been great. But I'm going to be one of the older people. So that's an interesting angle. I don't know how I feel about that yet. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try to like, contribute in some of the same ways that I did this year. But I want the rising seniors to be have as much say in anything that happens, even more. Maybe I can take a break. but yeah.
Yeah, just give the keys off, but still have a spare.
Yeah.
Okay, just purely from a swim nerd perspective, I have to ask, you've been training with Madisyn so long. Is there an insane set that you guys have done together? I'm sure there's plenty, but is there one that stands out to you that Madisyn has just cranked out? I ask her every time I interview her. She always gives me something good because she's always just doing insane things, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Honestly, I don't feel like specific sets stand out, but I just remember so vividly the summer after my freshman year. It was her and I in the IM lane. I think Joanna joined us briefly in the 4 a.m. lane that summer.
Hold on. So
And I remember,
was this your first summer training at Texas? Okay, so you
yeah.
stayed after your
So
freshman year.
yeah. No, I've trained through all the summers with
Okay.
Texas, but yeah, I just remember because Tuesday mornings everybody else was doing kick sets. Okay, so we shared that we split the pool with the men, so we have like the 5 lanes, and everybody else has a kick set Tuesday morning, but the IMers had this. I used to call it big distance or like mega distance IM, and it was just us in one lane. So we're not swimming like with each other; we're just swimming behind each other.
Yeah.
And everybody around us was kicking. We were like in the middle lane for some reason, and every Tuesday we just have to nail these like distance IM sets. It'd be like 100 fly, 50 back, like that 150 like 4 times, like that would be a round, and then it would like rotate through other strokes for the next round. And even like to this day I'll be like, Joe, Madisyn, I'm like, do you guys remember how we did that? Like I just can't believe, like I'm like, I'm really proud of my nugget self for like having done those sets, like especially behind Madisyn. I'm pretty sure Melanie Margalis like visited Texas for a little bit and did one of those sets with us. So I was like a nugget freshman in this lane with Madisyn and Melanie Margalis, like doing these distance IM sets. But I think it's saying something to think back to that and be like, I really did that. Like basically I can do anything, like I did that as a freshman. I can do anything now. That's fine. It set me up for the rest of swimming.
Yeah. You got to build the base young, I guess.
Yeah.
It's in the middle, like in lane 3 of 5.
Yeah. I don't know why it was set up like that. I just like everybody else had the kick, and then we were the long IM set that morning. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So going back to Abby,
Mm-hmm.
coming to your sister, coming to Texas, did you all train together when you were both in high school? You're 3 years older, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we trained in high school together. That, and actually like our stepdad was our coach in high school as well. So it was really great being all on deck, swimming in the same practice, and I'm looking forward to having her in lanes with me again.
So I'm curious because I think your senior season, you were the real deal. I mean, you were a pretty high up there recruit. Could Abby actually keep up with you in high school? It's like, yeah, we trained together.
Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember if we ever like raced sets like that. She definitely can do all the laps with me. She can hang in there with all those laps, for sure. And I just remember, as I've come back from college, like for, Thanksgiving or Christmas or stuff like that, like I've come back and trained with her. And every year I came back, I'd be like, damn, Abby, I was like, where is this coming from? Like, she was like kicking my butt on backstroke. And I'm like, whoa, like what happened? Like, I leave and go to college and I come back. But yeah, I think over the years, and I think this year of college swimming has really like shown her what she can do. And so I think coming into Texas, like she's going to fit right in, and she's going to, we're all going to be in those distance lanes doing the laps, and I think it's going to be a good time.
Nice. It sounds like it will be. And
Yeah.
So looking forward just to the immediate future a little bit, what's the long course season look like? Are you heading to Olympic trials? What's the emphasis for you? Again, it sounds like college swimming is it for you, but how do you feel about long course and the long course season?
Yeah. So I think right now, with everything, meets kind of being weird still for like, for COVID. I think the Texas is hosting like a elite invite meet in the next couple weeks. So we'll at least have that meet because other than that, we haven't really swum long course meets except for those couple, like San Antonio, the pro meets. So it'll be nice to actually like have done some long course racing, sorry, this semester. But yeah, planning on going to trials. Looking forward to seeing what we can do there. Yeah, I mean, long course is fun. I feel like emphasize the IMs more long course. I've had like a couple good years in the past. Got to do the 4 IM, 2 IM, got me to Italy one year. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can, get back to some of those times a little bit long course and see how high I can place at trials. Especially since I haven't done trials since I was, a nugget. I was 16 maybe. So it's gonna be a lot better, I think, going into this, having swam like other big meets, like big nationals meets, World University Games, stuff like that. So like I'm much more prepared, mentally going to a meet like that than I was before. So I think that'll be cool, getting to bring some of that experience to trials.
Definitely. Do you have a set event lineup yet?
I think my events are 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 2 free, 4 free. Honestly, I feel like some of those overlap or something, the trials lineup. I don't even know what the trials lineup is. I'm just, a couple things at a time these days. But yeah, I think that's where the focus is right now.
Gotcha. That's seems like a brutal focus, but seems good. I guess you don't have to do the mile, which is less yardage.
Perfect. I need the turns for the freestyle anyway. So fine.
Nice. Well, Evie, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and chat with me. It's been really great getting to hear your perspective on these topics. Any parting thoughts for our audience before we sign off today?
Oh man, I don't know. Okay, here's my new spiel. If you're gonna do college swimming, and you want to commit to years of swimming, or you want to commit to swim in college, like you should find a program that loves swimming as much as you do if you're gonna stick it out for that much longer, because as much fun as college swimming it is really hard. Like it's really hard to balance school and swimming, and coaching changes, going from club to college. And so if you're gonna put in that work and commit that time, like find a team that like find your people, because like you deserve that if you're gonna put in all that work.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.